This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Hello, I'm Sarah Donchi in today for Juliette. As the Bay Area gets ready for all of the Pride festivities this weekend, members of the transgender community and advocates rallied at San Francisco City Hall this evening. They are pushing back against the U.S. Supreme Court's recent ruling upholding a ban on gender-affirming care for trans youth. Suji Nam spoke with demonstrators who say this is just the beginning of their fight to protect what they call critical care.
We're not really taken care of and held already. And so seeing this in the media, it starts bringing ideas of like, can we be trans in this time?
Zendaya Blossom lives every day fighting for the trans youth community in the Bay Area.
Well, I've always known that I was trans since I was 5. I've always known and was dressing up and doing what I needed to feel affirmed in my life.
Blossom began gender-affirming treatment when she was really young and continues her care today. But she says it has been an uphill battle.
Doctors and a lot of these different medical providers who will not provide medical care. I got denied 4 times here in California for my gender affirming care.
She adds that the Black trans youth community has an even greater hill to climb to access basic health care. And through her work at the TGIJP Black Trans Cultural Center, she helps raise more awareness.
Black trans people have always been here. We've always been here in different societies.
Blossom has been concerned with the Supreme Court's recent ruling last week, which upheld Tennessee's ban on treatments like puberty blockers and hormone therapy for transgender minors. The ruling means similar measures in 26 other states restricting gender-affirming care will likely survive legal challenges.
We're so groomed to see people in certain ways instead of asking who people are.
LH Ka'alim with Traction SF, an organization that serves and protects the transgender community, says their mission is to uplift the trans youth voices.
I came out as sexually queer, so, who I am attracted to in college. I went to Dartmouth, and it was a struggle, being an immigrant coming from a poor family that was raised in Hawaii.
LH identifies as non-binary trans masc and is proud to help organize Thursday's rally that serves an even bigger purpose.
I'm going to deliver a petition with over 1,000 signatures that is demanding action to protect trans youth, community autonomy.
And for community members like Blossom, she says the fight for more accessible health care in the trans youth community is far from over.
We still in California deal with issues with health care and insurances not wanting to cover things for us that are life-saving. We still have to fight.
And they're not done. About 14,000 people are expected to participate in the Trans March from Dolores Park to the Tenderloin tomorrow beginning at 6 p.m. It is, of course, all leading up to the 55th annual Pride Parade on Sunday. Mayor Daniel Lurie and local law enforcement are trying to reassure everyone that safety will be their top priority during all of the celebrations.
My top priority remains making sure everyone feels safe and free to be themselves. This weekend belongs to you. Let's look out for one another and let's celebrate.
San Francisco's Pride celebration started in 1970, a year after the Stonewall riots, and remains one of the largest Pride celebrations in the world. And don't forget to tune in this Sunday at 10 a.m. Our special will be on KPIX Plus Pride. We'll have live coverage of the parade for you, of course, and we'll highlight members of the LGBTQ community who are making a difference here in the Bay Area. 2 people have been arrested in a boat rage incident in Discovery Bay that sent 1 person to the hospital. This happened on Sunday night. The sheriff's office says Eric and Danny Garcia were operating the boat, and it was caught on video chasing, then crashing into someone on a jet ski. The boat then slammed into nearby docked boats. They have been booked on charges including assault with a deadly weapon, criminal threats, and vandalism. A close call on the San Mateo County coast after a crash left this car dangling over the side of a 200-foot cliff. According to CAL FIRE CZU, this happened just south of Graywell Cove on Devil's Slide around 2:45 this afternoon, south of Pacifica. As you see here, the gray Tesla was being held in place by nothing more than a tree. Luckily, emergency crews got there fast. They were able to pull the person inside out through the back window. No word on injuries or what exactly caused the crash. A small group gathered in North Vallejo today for a community vigil in response to a recent spike in gun violence. Just last Friday, the city saw its 7th homicide this year. A 65-year-old man was shot and killed on Griffin Drive, just blocks away from where a 4-year-old was critically injured in a shooting in January. One neighbor said she is tired of the violence and that everyone needs to work together to keep their neighborhood safe.
And making sure that this city stays a place where residents want to continue to invest, where our children can grow and play outside, where our seniors can take a walk, where our schools can stay open, where our community centers do not have to be closed and relocated to other places so that our children don't have to worry about getting hit by bullets.
Now, this is happening as the city is urging the Solano County Sheriff's Office to help with its police staffing shortage. The County Board of Supervisors delayed a vote on a contract for sheriff's deputies to help with patrols. It has been pushed to next month. There's also a push for San Francisco to double down on its efforts to improve traffic safety. It comes after a civil grand jury report found the city's expired Vision Zero plan, which aimed at eliminating traffic deaths in a decade, simply did not work. The plan was implemented in 2014. That year, 30 people died in vehicle-related crashes. That number has been up and down since then, but last year, 42 people were killed. That is the most in almost 2 decades. So far this year, San Francisco has seen 12 traffic deaths. The recent report says an almost complete lack of traffic enforcement is to blame.
I think there aren't the resources being committed at the police department to see enforcement. So I think we need more officers doing more enforcement. We need more people and we need more officers in traffic company. And we need to be using technology much more than we are to make up for the lack of officers that we have.
In a statement, SFPD says it has significantly increased enforcement and has issued more citations over the last year. Just in time for the summer travel season, our already high gas prices will be going up once again on July 1st. Now, that is thanks to an increase in the state's excise tax. And now a new low carbon fuel standard. Currently, the average price of regular unleaded in California sits at about $4.60 per gallon, according to AAA. But here in the Bay Area, you would be lucky to find that, with San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose all closer to $5 a gallon. And with an estimated 8.9 million Californians expected to hit the road over the 4th of July holiday, a lot of people are going to be feeling those price increases. Tori Apodaca went to find out just how much prices could actually go up.
$121.67.
We're between a hard place and a rock. You got to get gas.
It's the pain many people feel as they watch the price tag at the pump go up.
That gas tax is going to push me out of the state.
Starting July 1st, the state excise tax for gas will increase by 2 cents, going from about 59 cents to 61 cents per gallon. That's a number politicians on both sides agree on, but the confusion is coming from the new low-carbon fuel standard passed by the California Air Resources Board last fall, and how it will impact gas prices, after a University of Pennsylvania report found it would be a 65-cent increase. It's why Senator Brian Jones created this petition against it, calling out the governor.
All Californians have to do is look at their wallet.
UC Davis Associate Director in the Energy Futures Program, Colin Murphy, says 65 cents is the worst-case scenario. His models show it would increase by 8 or 9 cents per gallon.
If the credit price spiked up to the ceiling, then 65 cents per gallon would be reasonable. However, there is no evidence suggesting that the credit price is going to rise anywhere near that ceiling.
Governor Gavin Newsom's office released what it's calling a fact-check sheet, saying Republican lawmakers and the oil industry are spreading misinformation, to which Jones replied,
I think it's very offensive to California motorists, people that are buying gasoline every single day to get to work, for this governor to keep trying to split hairs on how much is it actually going to be. The bottom line is it's going to be more.
Politicians pointing the finger at each other over gas prices, with California drivers paying the price.
Like I said, what are we going to do? You got to do it. You know, we got to pay for the gas.
Still ahead tonight, the Trump administration taking aim at the UC system over alleged discrimination in its hiring policy. And after the break, the largest species of penguin seeing a rapid decline, how the changing climate has the emperor living on thin ice.
Fog reforming at the coast. It's going to try to spread out later on tonight, but temperatures today managed to warm up a little bit more than what we've seen so far this week. 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and almost 90 in Santa Rosa. We are going to hit 90 in a number of spots tomorrow. Details coming up in the First Alert forecast.
In tonight's Project Earth, an update on one of the most majestic creatures on the planet. They serve as a kind of bellwether on the effects of climate change. Recent analysis shows certain populations of emperor penguins are disappearing much faster than imagined, most likely because of rising temperatures thanks to climate change. And Makovic has more details.
Emperor penguins might live in some of the most remote and environmentally pristine regions of the world, but that doesn't mean they're safe from the impacts of a warming planet.
Even this location is impacted by climate change.
Dr. Birgitta McDonald is a researcher at Moss Landing Marine Laboratories. For 15 years, she has studied emperor penguins and how they dive, swim, and forage for food. Now a new report has deepened her concerns about their survival.
Emperor penguins very much rely on cold conditions, so they need to have actually the ideal amount of ice. There's such a thing as too much and too little. It's kind of like the Goldilocks, I guess.
Scientists from the British Antarctic Survey monitored 16 colonies of emperor penguins for 15 years. A new analysis of satellite data has detected a higher and more dramatic decline in the birds' populations, a drop of 22%.
Overall, the picture is quite poor. It's quite dire for the penguins.
The warming of the planet is thinning and destabilizing the ice under the penguins' feet. Climate change is also leading to more extreme weather and rainfall.
The chicks are pretty well insulated with their down, but the down really only works if they stay dry. And so if there is a lot more rain, the chicks will have to spend more energy staying warm. So going out to sea for the first time at a lighter weight, and that could potentially decrease their chance of survival.
As to what we can do to slow the warming,
try to be better about, carpooling, minimizing how much you're driving, eat maybe meat one less day a week. Just small changes. If we all do that, those are things that can definitely help decrease the emissions.
Sending out an SOS for the giants of the penguin world who are now living on some pretty thin ice.
We saw the fog retreating to the coast and even taking a little bit of a break at the coast for at least a little while this afternoon. Nice to see a little bit of sunshine, but now the fog is reforming. This is the current satellite view, and you can see all of the widespread cloud cover out over the Pacific, but closer to the shoreline, the marine layer cloud cover is beginning to redevelop, and it's going to try to spread across the bay as we head through the rest of tonight. But I think that fog is going to have more of a limited impact on our temperatures for at least the next couple of days. As we head from June into July, typical pattern goes from June gloom to no sky July, and that's probably going to be in place once again as we head into next week. Let's take a look outside right now from Salesforce Tower, and actually we'll do that in just a second after we recap where we stand in terms of the coolest Junes on record. Today's high in San Francisco was 66 degrees, so the average high temperature so far this month in the city has been 62.5 degrees, which makes it the 22nd coldest start to June, the first 26 days on record, dating back to 1850. It's the coldest first 26 days of June since 1999. So far in the 21st century, I think we are going to maybe nudge up the list just a little bit with some slightly warmer temperatures over the next few days, including the potential for 70 degrees, even in San Francisco on Saturday. Temperatures right now, nowhere close to that at the moment. 59 degrees in the city with 61 across the bay in Oakland. Inland temperatures, we've got 60s in San Jose, 70s in Livermore and Santa Rosa, and still 81 degrees in Concord. A little more reluctant to cool down for that part of the East Bay. As we head through the rest of tonight, the fog is going to try to push across the bay, but it's not going to make much progress into the inland valleys by early tomorrow morning. Largely confined to the coast and kind of peeking through the Golden Gate and aiming towards the Berkeley Hills. There's some of that fog sneaking into the North Bay, but it's not going to last long. Once the sun comes up, that fog quickly retreats to the coast within the first couple hours of daylight. And so that means temperatures are going to have more of a chance to respond to the abundant June sunshine. So after we start off near average, we are going to warm up. You're seeing some more purple colors showing up on the temperature palette, which indicates the return of some 90s, especially east of the Oakland Hills. Let's start off in the Santa Clara Valley, where temperatures are going to climb up to a mix of 80s and 90s. 85 degrees in San Jose. It's about 5 degrees above normal. Mostly low to mid 90s east of the Oakland Hills, 96 degrees around Antioch and Brentwood, close to that level in Fairfield as well. Still upper 60s in San Francisco, but well into the 70s in Oakland and 80s for Fremont and Redwood City. Still 60s at the coast, but farther into the 60s, and temperatures in the North Bay go from the 80s to the 90s. The farther north you go, Healdsburg getting up to 97 degrees will be one of the warmer spots across the entire region. Let's check out 7-day forecast, and we do have another mild day, in fact, a warm day inland, and then temperatures go right back down to where they're supposed to be as we finish the month of June and head into early July. The really long-range forecast just beyond the 7-day outlook, that includes the 4th of July, does indicate that we might have slightly below average temperatures and maybe some stubborn fog for the 4th of July weekend. We'll keep you updated on that. And Sarah's going to get lost in the tubes there.
I keep doing that. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to get a letter from the bosses.
Walking right into the transporter tube there. You never know where you're going to end up. At the coast, temperatures are going to stay in the 60s. And I'll drop those out of the way so she does not get sent to another dimension entirely.
No, that is going to take me to my lunch break.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how those work.
That's optimistic thinking.
Yes. All right, after the commercial break, protesters on the peninsula target a tech company who they say is playing a pivotal role in the Trump administration's mass deportation efforts. The Trump administration is launching an investigation to the University of California's hiring practices. The Justice Department says the UC system might be engaged in sex and race-based discrimination. The investigation is based on faculty diversity goals that were listed as part of a UC plan to increase enrollment by 2030. The Justice Department is already investigating the UC system over anti-Semitism allegations. In a statement, a UC spokesperson said, quote, "The University of California is committed to fair and lawful processes in all of our programs and activities consistent with federal and state anti-discrimination laws." They also say the university will cooperate with the investigation.
Say it once, say it twice. Palantir empowers life.
Protesters gathered outside the Palo Alto office of tech company Palantir. They're criticizing the use of its data collection technology to help the Trump administration's mass deportations, as well as the use of its programs by the Israeli military in Gaza. Palantir is a big-time government contractor founded by Peter Thiel, who donated more than $1 million to the Trump campaign in 2024.
For too many years, Palantir has been working behind the scenes, it's in the shadows, while continuing all these damaging projects and funneling millions and millions of dollars in support to GOP leaders, including President Donald Trump.
This protest is part of nationwide demonstrations aimed at Palantir offices, including in New York City. We've reached out to the company for comment, but we have not heard back. In the past, though, the company has defended its software, saying it allows clients to manage the data they already lawfully control. Thanks for watching. The news continues at 8 on PIX Plus, 44 Cable 12. We'll see you at 11.